Hi again everyone, it's Brian Waters here from the QTube. Just want to take a few minutes of your time to bring you up to date on a few new things for Score Relief 2022, the free film scoring competition with a heart. Thanks to everyone that's entering, thanks to everybody that's donating. Got a couple of bits of news for you today. The first thing is that I have an interview with Alex Gregson from 344 Audio and Jack Hughes from Northern Film Orchestra, who also does some work with 344 Audio, which I'll be sharing with you in a new video tomorrow. So you can find out more about the work of 344 Audio and their sample libraries and sound effects, and also a nice chat with Jack from the orchestra.
The softer kind of foot step. And then with the gravel, I think.
I also want to just take a moment to remind everyone of the entry process for the competition. It's absolutely essential that you share your entry both on the QTube platform and on the Metapod platform. So you'll need to upload it to YouTube in order to share it on the QTube. All the instructions are in the download pack. There's even a checklist at the back to help make sure that you've carried out all the steps necessary for your entry to be seen by the judges. And of course, if you can, please put links in the YouTube video to Blender as requested recently in some of my posts on social media, and I'll put those links in the description of this video down below. Blender have been very generous, of course, in providing us with this animation, as they did last year. It's an absolutely fantastic animation, as I'm sure you'll agree. So I'm really grateful for their cooperation and for their creativity and generosity. And so it'd be great if you can actually put those links into your video descriptions, please. I also, of course, want to remind everybody about our charity fundraiser. Score Relief 2022 is a free contest, but we're inviting and encouraging people to donate to our charity fundraiser in support of an organisation called In Place of War, who are actually an organisation that supports grassroots projects in places that have been devastated by war to help them regenerate their cultural life and to rebuild communities. So it's a great cause. We've had quite a good number of donations so far, but we've got ambitious goals as always. So if you can donate something and let people know about it, that would be really appreciated. Thank you very much. Okay, so today's video is a demonstration of some prizes that have been kindly donated by a company called Bunker Samples. They reached out to us on Facebook after seeing some of the promotion of Score Relief, and they were keen to get involved. So I'm very grateful to them for these brilliant prizes, and I've asked Claire Wickes, who's a fantastic composer and musician from London. She has a really wonderful Instagram channel that I recommend to you. And I've invited her, and she was willing to do a demonstration of some of the libraries available from Bunker Samples. So without further ado, here's the demonstration from Claire Wickes.
Hi, I'm Claire, and I'm going to show you some of the amazing instruments in the Bunker Samples complete collection. I thought instead of doing a traditional library walkthrough, I'd show you how they can be used really effectively in horror scoring. So I've taken a clip and I've scored it into completely different styles. So the first is like a classic Hollywood slasher flick, and the second is heavily inspired by Philip Glass's score for the original Candyman. The Bunker Samples Complete Collection is just one of the many, many incredible prizes on offer in the Score Relief competition run by the QTube. If you're still working on your entry at the moment, then definitely don't forget to donate when you enter. All profits go to the incredible charity In Place of War. If you've not started your score yet, then you've still got a little bit of time, so get on it. All right, let's look at these scores.
Guys? Guys?
Left for leaf and stone. You picked the wrong camping spot. Sprite them!
So everything you just heard is from the Bunker Samples Complete Collection. I almost exclusively use the Bunker strings. There's 2 volumes of that. And the string articulations just lend themselves to horror so well that I wanted to see if I could make a classic sort of slasher flick style score just using these. So I'll show you some of the articulations now and how I used them. So we've got the drumstick tremolo. I love this. We've got our ricochet tremolos. They're great. also got pizz tremolos here and some transitional patches, and they're brilliant for building tension. So if I go right from the pizz tremolo, gradually take this to the ricochet tremolo. Yeah, I think this density slider is really interesting because as you increase it, you're not just increasing volume, you're actually adding number of players. So right at the bottom, it's just a small handful of string players going up to a full string ensemble. I've also used some of these shorts. This is what they sound like. And those are called drumstick shorts. When I say drumstick tremolo and drumstick shorts, I literally do mean that they've got a drumstick and just gone to town on string instruments using them. Sounds like fun to me. I also use these drumstick shorts just as some sort of jumpy sounds later on. We've got, yeah, Bernard Herrmann, Eat Your Heart Out. Almost as a kind of bonus, what comes with Volume 1 is this synth pad. So I've used one of the settings on there, elegantly named the Noisy Rumbly Bass Drone, just to keep something atmospheric going through the whole score. So it's not very loud in the mix, but should just give that sort of unsettling sense to the whole thing, whilst these other string textures jump out on top of it. So if we put that with just a few of the little string interjections, we've got just things to kind of make you shiver, hopefully. I love this synth pad actually because it's all organic sounds, but you can use them like a synth. They're really cleverly processed. Really nice sounds there. Moving on to Volume 2, yes, there is a whole other volume. I'm really just scratching the surface of all of this. So we've got some more delicate sounds in this one. We've got soltasto pulses, I'll play you those. And trem bursts. You'll never want for a tremolo again when you have these libraries, I promise you. Get that really nice. So a feature of the Volume 2 bunker strings is that you have this option for 2 times density. So you can basically double the size of your string ensemble by layering it on top of each other. It does a thing where it starts the round robins at slightly different points. So it doesn't just sound like an exact repeat, it's still got that randomness to it. Just to go through some of the other articulations here, you've got your sol pont tremolo burst. Sol ponticello just means played on the bridge, so it gives that more kind of scrapey, edgy sound. Here it is. And what I've done in this score is have that going up and down really suddenly, and that all happens when we're watching this sprite ritual. I love this film.
Right foot, left foot, leaf and stone. You picked the wrong camping spot. Sprite them!
So it's fairly low in the mix, but it just gives a kind of pulsing sense to that whole thing. Sol pont burst to plectrum tremolo. That's a real mouthful. So I'll show you how I use that almost as one of those sounds that kind of just sounds like someone climbing the walls. So just look at the piano roll there. As you can see, there's a lot of discordant noises, and you just gradually increase the number of notes that we're playing and moved it up the registers at the same time. So it just kind of gets more and more frantic. I've also got an accelerando written into the tempo there. So altogether, this kind of just feels like we're really building up to something sinister here. We've also got some plectrum strums in here. These are some of the shorts available in Volume 2, as well as we've got the plectrum trem and plectrum pits. So they sound like this. So you can basically, although they are slightly pitched, you can almost use them like to supplement your percussion libraries. Something else I threw into this scene just to make it extra unsettling is another instrument from Bunker Samples. It's the only thing that's not from their string collection, and it's called Off-World. It's a really closely sampled Dan Bao. It's a Vietnamese instrument, and it's like one very, very long string. It's been sampled bowed, and it has pitch bends at the beginning. So you can choose, these parameters show you how long that pitch bend's going to be, whether it's going to come from below or above, and how far it's going to go. Here's it sort of in its purest form first. So we've also got available with this all of these distorted and warped versions. Quite a few different options there, but I've gone with Distorted Mayhem. That appealed to me. This is what it sounds like. So I just have them all discordantly, all going in the same direction, so it almost feels like sort of spiraling downwards kind of effect. Right, so moving on to the second score, I've done this one in the style of Philip Glass's Minimalist score that he wrote for Candyman. If you don't know it, check it out. It's a lot of pipe organ and chorus and a little bit of sort of music boxy piano kind of thing. It's very repetitive, very minimalist, but it just sets up this amazing atmosphere. So I've used the Bunker Samples harmonium to try and create this effect. Here it is.
Guys? Guys?
Left for leaf and stone. You picked the wrong camping spot. Sprite
So I'll just start by showing you the piano roll for some of this so you can see how it's layered up. So quite sparse, but we've got these repetitive layers, as you can probably see, going around, and just our bursts from the choir. Come in around here.
Guys? Guys?
So other than the bass line, I've kept it very, very sparse. The only time we really have a texture change is when we have this kind of reveal of the body falling down.
Left for leaf and stone. You picked the wrong.
And then the choir just intensifies a little bit. So I'll just play some of those harmonium layers on their own. This is a really fun instrument to play around with. I had a good time doing this. So I'll start with my favourite feature of this whole thing, which is the pump. So that is this noise. So it's quite subtle, but it's because a harmonium is actually, it's kind of similar to an organ, but it's created by air being blown through reeds. So in some ways kind of more similar to like a bassoon or an oboe. And the air is created by two foot pedals just being constantly moved like that. So it's like a workout at the same time as a musical instrument, multitasking. And I just love that if you have that on in the background, it's very subtle, but it almost sounds like someone kind of heavy breathing, like quite creepy. So here you've got all your stops. And again, these all have a little bit of noise. I'll just turn it right up so you can definitely hear. And there are even round robins on the stop noises. Right, so if we just hear this layer on its own, here it is. Now I've just done a couple of subtle things to try and make it as kind of unsettling as possible for this horror score. I've got two of the LFOs on, so we've got pitch, and with these you've got a choice of the type of wave you want, and also the speed you want the LFO to go, so you can create some really interesting effects using these, and this is how much the pitch changes. So if I put it up to 12, then we're going to hear it a whole octave. Slightly crazy, maybe for sci-fi, but if I take it right back down, then it's just like a slight pitch bend. We've also got the volume LFO. Again, this can be used almost like an arpeggiator. So if you put these two together and put conflicting rhythms, then you can create some really, really interesting sort of compound rhythms with that. For this, I've just used it very, very slightly so that the volume comes and goes a little bit. Again, it's quite subtle. It just makes it sound a little bit more organic. And we've got the rotator. If you put that on and turn it right up, then it starts to sound a bit more like a sort of jazz organ. There's loads of effects here that I've not even delved into for this. You can change the formant, so there's various ways of changing the tone. We've got the pan here as well. Dirt, so you can make it distorted. Cabinet, again, loads of options for just slightly altering the sound here. Your low pass and high pass filters, and then delays and reverbs inbuilt. Okay, so there's loads of functionality to this. I've used it in quite a classic way in this score, but you can also do this with it. Aptly named the distorted guitar harmonium. So as I said, this is quite a sparse score. We've got the harmonium, we've got 3 sort of different rhythms going on. We've got our faster high layer, we've got our crotchet mid layer, and then our bass is really the interesting moving part, but still quite sparse and simple. I've added a sub bass to that later on because I love low sounds. If you're listening on a phone, you won't hear it. The only thing that I've added to this that is not from Bunker Samples is a couple of choir libraries. These are both free. There's the Labs choir. Definitely check out Labs stuff if you haven't already. There's so many amazing things. And then we've also got the Luminous choir from the Project Sam free orchestra that runs in the free version of Contact Player. That's really good to get hold of. This is just one of quite a few different things available. And you have quite a lot of control over how this sounds as well. So here's the choir layers on their own. And when we reach the, as I'll call it, the dead body reveal, yeah, in some ways it sounds like quite unnatural vocal writing. It's got a really short attack, so there's almost no fade in to it at all, and we get these repeated stabs, so quite uncomfortable to sing really. But I can guarantee you that this is exactly how Philip Glass writes, because I have spent many hours of my life playing his operas, and he loves to write things for humans that should only really be played by synthesizers. So all the better that we are using a synthesizer choir, and then we can get this effect really clearly. And the key really to imitating this style, in my opinion, other than the kind of repeating minimalist layers, is just throwing in the occasional crunchy harmony. So we're mostly in A minor, our upper parts are sticking to that quite strictly.
Please?
I'll just get rid of the sound design for a second. So we've got a G sharp against a G natural there, that sort of semitone clash. I'll just show you the piano roll. Let's see, yes, okay, so we can see with most of the time we've got fairly straightforward chords, a few dominant sevenths, mostly A minors, but here, suddenly you can see those semitone gaps in there, a lot of close harmony. Same again here. So there you have it, 2 completely different approaches to scoring the same clip. That's a clip from the score relief animation. I'm sure a lot of you will recognise that already, and I'm really looking forward to seeing how everyone else has approached it. So let me know in the comments your favourite horror scores. I can't guarantee I'll watch all the films because I don't have the constitution for it, but I will listen to the scores. So thank you so much for watching.
So thanks, Claire. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you were impressed with those sounds and with Claire's demonstration, and we'll have some more news about prizes and so on for you in future videos. But thanks again, everyone. Take care. Have a good day, evening, morning, night, whatever it is, wherever you are. And see you soon for more on Score Relief 2022, the free film scoring competition with a heart. Bye for now.